Good morning. It's another hot day in California, but today it will only get up to the 90s, and last week it was up above 100, so we're feeling kind of good here. Please sign in to the chat and announce where you're coming from. Happy to welcome you. And this is the beginning of a new Zoom webinar. So here in California, we have just been issued another lockdown out of an abundance. I think that was a good idea on our governor's part, but the story of the COVID continues. And the COVID quarantines have been part of the reason why this work with Eurythmyonline has, if I may say so, come of age. We couldn't have had so many people accessing and interested in doing Eurythmyonline without this catastrophe that we're all facing. And probably most of you know that I just completed doing first an initial 6-week series of Eurythmyonline webinars sponsored by Athena, the Association for Therapeutic Eurythmy in North America. And it was extraordinary to go through that process. And in those webinars, I invited people to write to me and tell me what their responses, what their experiences were. And it was most extraordinary for me to hear the kind words that people had to say and how this gave them the possibility to go someplace to create a practice that they probably never would have done before. People were able to work in the quiet of their room and feel what Eurythmy was doing to themselves in a way that they wouldn't have done if they'd been in a large class. Of course, I miss the big class. I miss being able to judge people's etheric movements, bring people into weaving harmony. But on the other hand, I can understand where some people say, when I work alone, I can pay much more attention to these streamings, to these experiences that I can have in Eurythmy. And that makes me very glad because I understand Eurythmy is an art form, it's a group form. When we do artistic Eurythmy, we kind of flow together like birds in a murmuration, flowing, flying together, or fish together. But Eurythmy also is a practice that touches deep into our etheric levels and into the formative forces that have made us. And when we do that, we enter into Eurythmy as a movement meditation, Eurythmy as this practice of mindful movement, Eurythmy as a spiritual practice. And we will, in this series and in coming series, enter into things like, how do the planets live in me? How have they created my body? How do they live in my soul? We'll live in the questions, how do the constellations create me? What have they done creating the formative forces of bushes and trees and flowers, rocks, and me and my inner organism? And in my experience, in my own self, and also in teaching others, I know that Eurythmy takes us on a journey that touches our deepest spiritual core. Friends, what is Eurythmy? I would say people have been dancing since the beginning of time. We've been dancing for the harvests. We've been dancing to give thanks to the Creator. We've been dancing to bless the plants, pray for fruitful weather, dancing to bless the children who are being born, dancing to celebrate marriages and to mark and transition points. Have all been sacred dances since the beginning of time. And then in the course of millennia, dance has become more a matter of entertainment. In Eurythmy, in the present age, we have a kind of a rebirth of the ancient sacred dances that connect us to heaven and earth in a powerful way. So Eurythmy was started by Reiner And it was begun as an art form, but an art form in which every aspect of our deepest self, body, soul, and spirit, are woven together in a harmonious way. And if we think about what it means that each of us, we ourselves, create that practice. And in this way, it's different from the practice of massage, for instance, in which someone else is healing us by touching us. And in Eurythmy, we move inside ourselves and touch our own being and engage it in our journey towards healing. I love massage. It's really worthwhile to get that. But in Eurythmy, we can take that to another dimension and work on it our own selves in the practice of empowering people to work on their own journey towards health. So I have spent dozens of years trying or working to develop something that I call Eurythmy as a personal practice. And this was the initiative for me starting the website that I have, Eurythmyonline.com, where I have over 50 lessons where people can learn on a self-guided journey, all the sounds of Eurythmy and so on. But I find that these live webinars are engaging people more intensely. So I'm going to continue them. Dear friends, let me just take a moment now in our first class to speak just a tiny bit more about how do we create our own Eurythmy practice. When you do your own practice for the best, to make it the most successful, do Eurythmy practice inside if possible. When I do Eurythmy outside, I feel that I'm just expanding into the sky, into the air, and I can't feel so well what's happening inside myself. And so if I work in an enclosed space, I can concentrate on what I'm doing. The universe, the sky, nature is too big for my Eurythmy practice. If possible, choose a place of quiet. Choose a place with enough room to move, but not too much clutter. When you do Eurythmy, don't look at mirrors. When you do Eurythmy, you're not trying to work on getting the feedback of your own body form. You're trying to feel how things are moving through yourself. And then you start to feel how you're affecting the space you move in. When you do Eurythmy, there's no need for background music. When you do Eurythmy, we learn to seek and cultivate quiet, the inner quiet in which deeper levels of yourself are working. When you do Eurythmy, if you're learning from these lessons, I want you to practice learning the details of how to work as quickly, as soon as possible, and then turn off the video and see what you can move in yourself. Turn on the video again if you need to learn and to improve your practice. Turn it off so that you're concentrating on the streamings in and around yourself. Focus on what you can create in the silence. If possible, do Eurythmy every day. 5 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever will work for your time, but note that regular short periods are more fruitful than one long period a week. Obviously, that's not possible for everyone, but if it is, that would be the best way to work on it. So with that, let's begin. I'm going to offer a couple of exercises that we did in the series, and those of you who've done use these opportunities to deepen your practice. And those who are new will be caught up and able to travel with us in what we're doing. And then we'll go on and learn some more exercises. So are you ready? I hope you have space around you that you'll be able to walk backwards and forwards, maybe 5 steps, 5, 6 steps. Friends, I have one more piece of information for you. whenever I do these series, I make a PDF file of the poems and the material that I've done so that you can download them. Rudolf Steiner gave for the practice of eurythmy a eurythmy meditation that speaks about how the forces of the universe have formed us and how in our eurythmy practice we bring these to life. This is called the Eurythmy meditation, and it's wonderful to begin your practice with that, thinking it, feeling it inwardly. I will speak it for you now a couple of times. The first time I will simply recite it, and I will say, I seek within me creative forces working, creative powers living. The heavy weight of earth tells through the word of my feet. The forming power of the air tells me through the singing of my hands. The strength of heaven's light tells me through the thinking of my head how the great world in the human being speaks, sings, thinks. Now, dear friends, if you are like me, you probably didn't get the whole meaning of the meditation the first time you heard it. I never do. I have to hear something a couple of times to let it come to life in me. So I'm going to speak it to you again. You'll notice that the poem speaks about the feet, the hands, and the head. And so as I speak it and as I think it, my attention goes to these three places. I'll speak it again to you, but as I do, I'm going to use my hands. You don't need to copy my hands, but I use them to indicate what I'm experiencing inside. I seek within me creative forces working, creative powers living. The heavy weight of earth tells me through the thinking of my feet. The forming power of the air tells me through the singing of my hands. The strength of heaven's light tells me through the thinking of my head how the great world in the human being speaks, sings, and thinks. So, as you begin your eurythmy practice, you may think these words and let them resound through them. At the conclusion of this exercise, you are ready for the first exercise. The first exercise we'll do is called Weight Bears Downwards, Light Streams Upwards. And with this exercise, we balance these three centers, the center of weight, the center of light around the head, and the middle section as the point. Are you ready? Stand still in your place. Know yourself to be a spiritual being in man. Think towards the legs, towards the earth. Step to the right and step to the left. Feel with gratitude the strength of your legs connecting to the earth, to the forces of gravity. And in this experience, feel weight bears downwards. Now create the counter movement. Think of the light above your head, stars, levity. Lift your arms, let them move lightly upwards. Feel light streams upwards. Become aware of how we live our lives between heaven and earth. And in ourselves, we feel the balance in our breathing system, breath and blood. Release and release. By practicing this repeatedly, we inscribe these experiences onto ourselves. Step to the right, step to the left. Feel grounded. Send your intention 3 meters into the earth, so strongly that I couldn't push you over if I was with you. Glue yourself to your will. Our job as humans is to work the earth, not escape it. And now, in the complementary movement, draw your inspiration, draw your love, draw your sense of meaning from the stars. Light streams upwards. And take a big breath in your chest. In the middle, I hold the balance. And release. And release. We'll go a little deeper, and amongst different zones are colored light. Step to the right, step to the left. And let's imagine a shape. Imagine that the energy into your legs begins here above your heart and streams down, creating a triangle of light. Imagine this triangle to be blue. And in the weighty color blue, feel weight bears downwards. Without losing that, very important not to lose this as we take the next step here from the solar plexus or below the solar plexus. Let a triangle, a field of light rise upwards. Let that be yellow. Light streams upwards. And now feel the dynamic balance between weight and light. And feel how, I'll move my hand, you don't need to move yours. These two triangles intersect, overlap, and intersect in the middle in a green triangle. Feel that, breathe into that with your chest and feel. In the middle, I hold the balance. That balance is a field, a diamond of green. And release. And release. Try it again. Don't watch the screen if you don't need to. Concentrate on your own feeling. Sending light down from above your heart. Feel weight bears downwards. Rising upwards from below the solar plexus, feel light streams upwards. Take a deep breath. Acknowledge that we have to live, are allowed to live in these two fields, and feel in the middle, I hold the balance. And release. And release. Friends, this can also be done in the other direction. We can begin with the light and then do the weight and With this contrasting feeling, we can sense ourselves coming down into gravity. Let's begin. Start with the feeling here. Lift your arms. Light streams upwards. I'm going to linger with you here for a moment. I want to be sure that you are not looking upwards. Your head should be in a normal position, looking straight ahead, not up. And in doing so, you feel your head surrounded by light, but you don't need to look at it with your eyes. Light streams upwards. Now step to the right and the left. Weight bears downwards and you settle in. Your inner feeling is, I bring the light from heaven and I let it help me be grounded on the earth. In the middle, I hold the balance and release and release. And with that, we have created one of the primary archetypes of our Eurythmy practice. Let's continue. I'd like now to work with you on the practice of walking. We're going to practice how we can move in a way that our head, our rhythmic system, and our will are in harmony. So to do that, begin by standing straight, remembering light in the head, weight in the feet, balance in the middle. In preparation for the Eurythmy walking, notice what it means to carry these three qualities in your posture, in yourself. Notice that the head is still, the heart breathes. Now the feet, such an active part of our will, are going to walk on the earth. Fabulous capacity that our legs have to move. In Eurythmy, it's always helpful to create wonder in yourself. Fabulous legs. Now to start the practice of Eurythmy walking, start with your back foot, feeling like it's kind of glued to the floor. We have to practice noticing what happens on an unconscious level when we walk. So pick your foot up, like you're going to take a step, put it down again. Pick your foot up. If you're a normal person, that's an easy thing to do. Lift your foot up. If you're having trouble walking, you'll find that's difficult. Now notice when you walk, you have to overcome gravity. Put your foot down. How can we intensify that feeling just to get started? Later, we'll allow it to become unconscious again. Feel as if your foot is glued to the floor or maybe Velcroed. This time, really struggle to heel, arch, toe. Yes, and put it down. Rip the Velcro from the floor. Feel this rising energy that goes through your whole body. Let's do it. Heel, arch, toe. My toe is still on the floor here, but I just lifted myself. Now I can access levity. Balancing, take a step. Just moving forward. I move from behind in front. And now I'm going to touch the floor, toe, arch, heel. Good. Laying the foundation. Later we go much faster, but again, mindful movement. Heel, arch, toe with your left foot. From behind, in front, beside and in front, and place. Can you sense every step is like a wheel rotating? 1, 2, 3. And now let's go backwards. Reverse the direction. 2, 3. Lift your foot. 1, 2, 3. Again, lift your foot. And we have this rotating movement. I'm going to do this walking sideways just so you can see my feet a little better. Some of you are familiar with this practice already, but even if you are, let's once again go deeply into it. Stand straight. Every step is your conversation between weight and light. From behind, lift your back foot, but slowly, consciously. Overcome gravity through your will. Move forward, carrying your destiny. Connect your destiny with the earth, the circle of life. Lift your foot. Carry it forwards and place. Again, lift your foot. Carry it forwards. Place. Lift. Carry and place. I've reached the limit of my space. I'll walk backwards, although normally I like to have 8 steps going in one direction. Backwards, lift, carry, place. Lift, carry, place. Lift, carry, place. Lift, carry, and place. And again, I'm going to stop moving and just speak these words for you. I want you to really practice breathing with each step. And begin. Energy rises, lift. Energy is high, sustained. Energy falls, place. Lift, keep your head steady as you go. Carry and place. Lift, breathe all the way through. Carry, exhale and breathe through your foot into the ground. Lift, carry, and placing. Give thanks to the earth. And reverse the circle. Lift, carry, and breathe out. Rising energy impels. Inspiration, carry, and place. Good. Lift, carry, and place. Lift, carry, and place. And rest. And we'll take one more step with this today. Again, we're still going a bit slowly today, but we'll do more in weeks to come. And this time, I will recite to you my favorite verse for doing with threefold walking. This is a verse called St. Patrick's Prayer, which says, "As I walk, I carry the world with me. Carrying the world with me, I keep my nobility even as a human being. I practice mindfulness of the world." The prayer says, I carry the sun, the moon, the fire, the earth, water, rocks, the sea in myself, in my mind and my heart, even as I walk my destiny on the earth. Speaking this verse, I'll walk forwards and backwards with you. Steps forward, 4 back. If I move my hands, you don't need to copy them. I'm just speaking them to show you where my attention goes. And we'll begin. Light of the sun. That was 1 lift, carry, place. Radiance of the moon. Rising splendor of fire. Swiftness of wind. Going backwards. Depth of the sea. Stability of the earth. Firmness of rocks. I bear in me. And breathe. Good. Thank you. Now we'll begin an exercise that is new for you. We're going to take an exercise that I call angel wings. We have just worked with feeling the light in the head, warming the heart, feeling the strength in the legs. We've worked with the vertical axis. Now we're going to practice our wings. Our arms are the most expressive part of our being, and our arms need to learn to be free in our Eurythmy practice. The root of our wings is the scapula, the shoulder blades. And the shoulder blades need to be freed to have wonderful movements in Eurythmy. And in fact, imagine yourself to have the wings of an angel. I don't just mean little fairy wings. I mean the great noble wings that rise above your head and fall to the floor behind you. And as we do Eurythmy, we have to feel our arms to be that big. So in preparation, roll your shoulders a little bit. If you have tension in your neck, we're going to use this practice to help release it. But you can start by just shaking it out a little bit. And now, lift, feeling your shoulder blade, lift your arms above your head. In doing so, try very hard not to hunch your shoulders up next to your ears. Try very hard to keep your shoulders as relaxed as possible. Fold your wings, fold your hands above your head. And now with a great movement, as if these are angel wings, move your arms to the side and back and fold your wings behind you. And try to feel back there, beautiful wings. And from below, lift them. And sink them. And as you do so, imagine what you look like from behind. Imagine these wings, raise them like great bird wings, rising and falling. See yourself from behind. Care more about that than about what you look like in front. And rise. And let them sink. And let them rise. Let your wings fall. Open them, unfurl them, and let them rise. And rest. You can do that all day long. Friends, everything that we do in Eurythmy is adding the etheric movement at the same time. And in fact, the etheric streams are all happening in counter movement to our physical movement. We'll speak more about that at another time. But in this case, we're going to practice feeling that as we move our arms downwards, there is a counter movement going upwards. Your etheric wings rise. And as you lift your arms up, etheric wings fall. So let me try to speak about that one more time. When you start with your arms up, imagine, practice learning to find this feeling. Imagine a counter movement below you. Another invisible wing, set of wings is down here. And as you are opening your physical wings from below, an etheric wing, or a pair of etheric wings, are rising. Your physical wings fold behind you. The etheric wings fold above you. And then the etheric wings are going to fall as your physical wings rise. Right now I'm doing that with 2 hands in opposite directions, but now I'll do it the way I want you to practice. Fold your wings above you. Imagine the etheric wings folded behind your back. Lower your physical wings and imagine angel wings rising above you. In doing this, we are deepening our search to feel your space. Open your physical wings. Let your etheric wings fall behind you. Open your etheric wings. Let your physical wings fall. Raise your physical wings. Let the etheric wings fold behind you. And again, imagine yourself watching this from behind and above. And rest. Good. We're going to do that now with a few steps. Remembering how to do the threefold walking with your feet. We're going to make fluid movement with our legs. At the same time, we're going to move our wings. Essentially, we'll fly. We're going to take 4 steps backwards even as we unfold our physical wings. The etheric wings rise. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and come forward. 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 1. We call these the angel wings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 1. And together, the angels, the archangels, and the archai are harmonizing our thinking, feeling, and willing. They work in this up-down plane with us. Feel your back, free your back, and once more. And we'll end in the back. And rest. Breathe. How do you feel? I love this exercise. It's one of my daily exercises. And I go a little bit further with it and do another set of wings as well. We'll learn another time. Now I'd like to turn to the warm-up exercise known as contraction and expansion. Our life is a constant relationship between universe and earth, the world around us and our personal world, reflected in light and weight, in and out, the cycles of the season, the cycles of our day, the rhythms of our breath. And in all of these, we are making, manifest, and experiencing that we belong to both worlds. You have learned how to use your arms as wings. Spread your wings wide. Now we're not going down and up. We're going out and in with our wings, using your shoulder blades as the basis of your movement. Fold your wings in, become very small. Feel that you're touched in your heart. From your heart, unfold your wings. And let go, touching stars, and then bring star, sun, world into your heart. Let the world discover your heart from here. And expand wide. Give your heart back to the world, trusting that you will be filled. Now bring the world into your heart, trusting that you'll be filled. And when your heart is filled, give it away, trusting. As God sees you, God receives, and God gives back to you. And I will speak a verse for you. Today I will speak a verse by William Blake, written a poem that speaks of this experience so beautifully. To see the world in a grain of sand and heaven in a wild flower. Hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour. And release your arms. Breathe, feeling peace in your heart. We'll do that again. And we've learned when you do Eurythmy yourself, let the outer voice, let your mouth be still, and just listen to these words inside yourself in quiet. So I'll open my arms, don't speak, but learn to hear inside yourself how I'm speaking, and let that inspire you to hear it inside your voice in quiet. Here we go. Now let's walk forwards with 4 steps. Within my heart shines the light of the sun. Within my soul weaves the warmth of the world. I will breathe the light of the sun with joy. Now with tenderness, I will feel the warmth of the world. Light of the sun pour into me, and warmth of the world. Now you can drop your arms. Warmth of the world flow through me. Breathe. Thank you. The second verse was written by Rudolf Steiner as a meditation, and both of these verses are in the PDF file that I sent to you, and you'll be able to download that. I'll also try to send you the link for that later on, even as I will send you the YouTube links for the recordings of this lesson. What we've done until now, and most of what we did in our last series, was to focus on the warm-up exercises in Eurythmy, things that start to make the life-bringing, health-bearing forces of Eurythmy flow through us, like weight and light, the peace exercise, which we'll do again another week, threefold walking. These are all warm-up exercises, but we don't really enter the new revolutionary world of Eurythmy until we do the sounds. And Eurythmy is a journey of learning how great formative forces connected to language and to music live in our bodies, in our souls, in our minds, in correspondence to the whole world. And we'll begin this deepening in these eurythmy practices today by starting with the consonants. In language, there is a polarity between macrocosmic sounds and microcosmic sounds, between formative forces and soul forces. These polarities are marked in the difference between consonants and vowels. The consonants are the sculptural formative forces of language. Let's practice a couple of them. Let me say, k. Feel what that does. Try to say that. K. Really explodes out of your mouth. S. Do you hear that snake-like sinuous sound? Feel F. Powerful exhalation. Say it. F. We're now a very soft, meditative type experience. M. The M sound, you notice how you have to keep your lips together and control your exhalation as you say M. That's why it belongs to the word Om. Here we do. M. And we can make a practice of looking for these sounds in nature. That'll be part of a whole nother series that we do later on. But today I want to begin with what is probably the most motherly protective sounds of all. That is the sound B. In the zodiac, the sound B belongs to Virgo. It's the sound of the mother, the protectress, who is holding the child or the earth mother holding the planet in a protective embrace. There's also the gesture that has created birds and butterflies and bushes and berries and blossoms. And in the genius of language, these little things that are wrapped up in bundles and bubbles are named with B sounds, not only in English, but in many, many, many other languages. The sound itself has an archetypal quality. So for us to experience the power of the B, think of the mother. Imagine yourself to be a mother, men and women alike. We all have the motherly archetype living in us, even as we were born out of mother, even as our angel is still holding us while we're on the earth. To prepare for the B, stand straight. Imagine yourself filled with luminous yellow light. Now imagine behind your back a beautiful cloak woven out of stars, made out of rich blue velvet, etheric velvet. You're going to wrap this cloak around your luminous yellow core and protect yourself. And this is the power of the sound B. Move your arms back. Draw the edges of your cloak to yourself. Round them around yourself. Here we are. The sound B, we stand enclosed. You don't need to do what I'm doing now, but this is a feeling from head to foot. You are wrapped in a cloak of protection. If anyone sees you from outside, they only see the blue cloak. They don't see your shining light, but you know it's there. And again, yellow light. Reach back. The cloak is woven out of the stars. Reach back, pull it around you. The heavenly power of the bee holds us in an embrace of safety. And again, you are light. Always begin with that. Your spirit is radiant. And you are clothed in matter. Your radiant spirit lives in the body. Release. It doesn't matter if the right or the left arm is on top. You can alternate. Again, reach back. And now, there's another element here. Because in this position of protection, we also feel strength and inner power. You are yellow. Your cloak is blue, but at this point, the lining of your cloak is bright red. And once you have wrapped the cloak around you, the red will be close to your skin. The blue is outside. If you had magical vision, you would see red here, the lining of the cloak. Now the red is wrapped inside and all you can see is my blue. But I am yellow, bright and radiant. The cloak is red. So as we practice this bee, can imagine the fierce love of the mother even as she holds her child. She is a goodly woman, yellow. She creates protection and she holds that child with power. So too does the spiritual world hold us. Our angel takes us and wraps us around. We are held. And from knowing these boundaries, we have strength. And as you do it, at that moment where you go click with your arms silently, that's when inwardly you hear "buh" at that moment. Don't speak it with your mouth, but feel that. You reach back, feel the stars, bring it around you. Listen to when I say it. I say right here, "buh." Good. Don't you say it, but speak it with your arms. And again. Learn to feel that in doing this, you are wrapping protection of yourself, weaving and mending the holes in the etheric body. As a therapist, I will use this exercise for people who feel that they have too much vulnerability. Could be someone who is frayed because of the EMFs in the environment. It can be a child who is a bedwetter, although with such a child we do a variation, not exactly this bee. It can be a person who is always confronted with dangerous situations. With the bee, we affirm that we are in fact always protected. Once more. And releasing your arm, feel, I am whole. Breathe. I want to do one more consonant with you today, the L. The consonant L is perhaps the most well-loved of all the sounds. And because later we're going to do the word hallelujah intensively, we need to know the sound L very well. The sound L is born out of the constellation of Capricorn, midwinter. In midwinter, The world is hard, cold, and frozen, but down below the surface of the earth, new life is getting ready to sprout if it is sparked by spirit. So the L is a movement that goes into that place of midwinter and allows life to germinate, life to unfold in the midsummer exaltation. So to do the L well, allow us now to practice it very deliberately. We start with the arms at a horizon line, dark below, light above. And we're going to go from that horizon line deeper and deeper and deeper into the depths of the earth, sparking this point of maximum compression. I'm going to start a change. Now here I put the sides of my hands together and I begin to lift using my shoulder blades. Lifting, lifting. I keep my hands to see which part, the side of the head. Keep them together all the way to the top so that I have the maximum extension and beauty and light before I don't have a premature birth in my arms. Right at the very top, and let this light-filled rainbow unfold around me until I get to the horizon. I turn my hands over, and again I go down into gravity, lifting, lifting, lifting. Levity takes over, and I unfold light. And again, down into gravity, lifting, lifting into the light. And again, always know your horizon and change, and down in gravity and deep into gravity and lifting, lifting, lifting into light, unfold in the light. Let me speak now a small poem as we do this, and we go down into gravity. For every time the L shows in the poem, I'll speak an L word. Spring light. Spring light lifts green. Lifts green leaf by leaf into light and rest. We're going to work more and more with this poem going forward. Let's try again. Spring light lifts green leaf by leaf into light. Good. And you'll see with this poem how the poet has used the sound L to engender the experience of light. Again. Excuse me, please. Spring light lifts green leaf by leaf into light and rest. In our next lesson, we'll go much more deeply into the sequence of the L's, the way that they're used in the sacred word, hallelujah. We're going to prepare to draw to a close now, and then I'll take some moments for questions and answers. Let's remember what we've done today so that you can build your own practice. We start with, I seek within me creative forces working, the Eurythmy meditation. And then we have weight bears downwards, light streams upwards, finding our 3 centers. From there, standing balanced, the practice of walking, preparing what we need to move later in all directions and fast and light. But in every movement, we want to be talking to the earth, no matter how fast and light we're going. Excuse me. Then we practice angel wings, both the physical wings and the counter movement. And then contraction and expansion. From there, the beautiful sound B and the life-giving sound L. Next week, we'll build on these and go into the consonants. Before we close now, I want to do one of the 3 soul exercises that we worked on so hard in the last series. The series reverence, which you remember. It's a sound that weaves between our love for the sense world and our reverence for the invisible world. And because we've practiced our wings so beautifully, you'll be able to do this reverence with great freedom in your shoulders today. Remember, this is the exercise for strengthening your immune system, opening the back space, for overcoming insomnia, and for working against all the overstimulation of the sense world. So let's together do reverence 7 times. And if this is new to you, join us. We begin in quiet. Imagine the beloved things of the sense world and move forwards to them with wonder and appreciation. Awe, creating awe with your arms. Now your angel taps you on your back and says, unfold your wings. Remember that the source of all these things are behind you. And we go, open your back and feel stars behind you. Imagine that an entire world of God behind you. Let the stars fall to your feet behind you. You are light. Fold your arms again. Moving forward. I love the sense world. And I have reverence for the true sources of the sense world. And let the light fall and come all the way down to your heels. You are grounded. Remember not to use your head to look up. Here we go. Feel, I love the world. Keep your head steady. And just feel the back space. And let your arms fall. I love the sense world. Keep going down. Don't let yourself get excarnated as you do the H. Down all the way to your feet. Now in between repetitions, you feel full of light. Again, and light. And the light falls behind you. You are whole. Yes, and again. Feel your back. Practice opening your back in every way you can. All the way down through the backs of your legs, your heels. And again. Don't speak. Hear as you do this. here. And create the feeling for reverence, for everything that's great. Feet together. You are light. And one more time. Ah. And release. Thank you. I hope you feel the wellness that this experience engenders in you. Fold your arms. Thank you so much.